What's good, family? My name is Shaq, and this is episode 3 of ShackZone podcast. Now, before I begin, I just want to give a big shout out to all my supporters and everyone rocking with me. I'm not going to call you fans, but everyone who's listening and everyone who's supporting. I really appreciate it. I've been getting the DMs on my Instagram, the private messages on SoundCloud and YouTube, and I just want to show love back. One day, I'm going to do like a episode where I have all my supporters phone in and do like a Q&A kind of thing. But for now, I got a very special guest this week. He came all the way from Trinidad and Tobago to be on ShackZone podcast and share all of his knowledge, experience and life lessons with us. I call him Uncle Lorris, but his real name is Lorris Ballack.
Hi,
Yeah?
Shaq.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Actually, the first time I'm meeting you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I hope I live long that I will have you when you have grandchildren.
I hope I look younger than you. And I'm older. You see? Firstly, how was your New Year?
Well, it's a very long time that I have not been to London for the New Year and the Christmas. I spent the Christmas and the New Year in London. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. How you enjoying the weather?
Oh, it's a bit different to mine at home, but I am all right with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, and having my lovely niece-in-law and my nephew around me, I'm all right.
Yeah, as long as you got family around.
Oh, that's right. The world is about family.
Definitely, of course.
The world is about family, and if you really look at it, we all family.
Yeah, definitely.
Because all of us came from the same one God, the same one Adam, the same one Eve. I believe that.
Amen.
I'm Muslim and I believe that.
Yeah.
So the world to me is not divided except by sea, water,
Yeah,
we are separated, but all humanity is out of one creation. I believe that.
I agree.
Okay.
You sound like a very... So you said you're Muslim.
I'm Muslim.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Like, was you born that way or...
Well, my father came from Diego Martin in Trinidad. He came from a Muslim background, but he never did practice the Islamic way. He remained not following any religion really, and not following any particular way of life.
Yeah.
So I took it up about 34 years now. I'm a Muslim, and Islam, well, being a Muslim just means that you have accepted who you are.
Okay. Like knowledge of self.
Well, it's not about knowledge alone. It's accepting God, Almighty Allah, as our creator.
Okay.
And if we accept that, then you're Muslim. And if you really check it all over the world, every one of us are Muslims, because Islam means submission. And you and I and all who are here now, we submitted to who we are, because you didn't ask to be born black. You didn't ask who you wanted to be your mother. You didn't ask to be a male or a female.
True.
But you were born a male, Mishak, and you were happy about it. So it means you submitted to the will of God to bring you here as a man. So you're Muslim really. Islam means submission, and you have submitted from the time you were born. You have submitted to be a man, born of African family. So you're a man, so you're Muslim. But if you tell everybody in the world they're Muslims that way, they're going to go straight crazy with you, because I can't tell my Christian brothers, neither my Hindu brothers, neither those people that they were all born Muslims. You can't do that. But it's what I practice now. I'm a Muslim. Yes.
I will say one thing about Muslims. My cousin, unfortunately, went to prison for a few years. He went in Christian and he came out Muslim. And he was trying to not convert me, but he was just trying to teach me about Allah and
the beliefs.
Yeah, the beliefs.
Yeah.
But I will say this: they don't push their religion on you.
Well,
they just tell you what it's about and give you your choice.
Well, there's an ayat.
Okay.
There's a particular verse in the Quran that says, it goes like this. We would not accept other people's way of life, but we cannot be annoyed with them for who they are. And today, and in that it says, to you your way and to me mine's. But in some teachers of Islam try to make you feel that you are nothing in this world because you're not Muslim. That's very foolish.
Okay.
I have Hindu family,
Yeah.
I have Baptist family, and I'm Muslim, and I love them as much as probably they love me. So to me, religion is not supposed to debar us from loving each other.
Okay.
You know, you have your way of life, I have my way of life. You go your way, I go my way. It is said in Islam, lakum dinukum waliyadin. To you yours and to me mine's.
Wow.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
But it does not say we are not friendly, we are not family, because I just told you it's only one God, one creator, one humanity. This is not the second time humanity is wrong. Remember in the times of Noah, the floods, everything went through, destroyed man to a point, and God has left man to refurbish the earth. So we are all still here because of the refurbishment of the earth.
Oh, wow. Okay. And with that being said, how do you feel when, you know, Muslims, they do get kind of like a bad rap because of the radical? Like, what's your stance, if you have any, on the non-Muslim people just assuming all Muslims do
A
this
radical.
one radical thing?
Well, any part of the world that you stand up for the truth, you stand for the oppressed, for the poor, you don't have to be Muslim to be castigated as radical. Because in some countries that they have civil unrest, they have the poor on the streets, the poverty, you find that those countries name anyone who stands up for justice, putting it this way, for justice, for humanity, you become too a terrorist, you will become a radical. And they might even say, well, you know Lorris Ballack now, so that is why you behaving so. Because that is how the program was set by the others. You know, the others set that program. So in saying that, yes, there are Muslims who take certain things and they move away from the teachings of the Quran and do wrong things. And there are a lot of scholars, in Islamic scholars, who really send the wrong message about Islam. And those are well-learned men, but they learn Arabic, they learn to interpret the Quran in their own way and not how Muhammad sallallahu wasallam has given us this message. That's my point about it.
Okay,
so we have misconceptions.
Yeah.
Plenty misconceptions by those who think or believe that their knowledge is right. It's like a lot of Christians too. They go extreme with Christianity.
Of course.
And Christianity was always extreme in the past. Remember the Christians, Crusaders, went through other people's lands and forced Christianity upon them. They were murdered, you know, the history will tell you that. You know?
So it's just like they're kind of selecting one group.
Well, it is always like that. But
with
why
every
now?
religion.
Why now? Because over the past few years, Islam has been rising tremendously throughout the world. You know, a lot of people doing conversions, a lot of people coming to Islam now. And like, you know, it's more rapid now.
Okay.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of people who would not have accepted it, they are all involved in it now. Yeah, they're coming to it. So it's rapid results.
Yeah, I understand.
The results are rapid.
Yeah. Okay, so for the ones who quote unquote are radical, is there like a situation in where not you get kicked out of the religion, but what's the consequence for the radicals, if there is any?
Well, there is a consequence.
Yeah.
And the consequence is very grave, very grave.
Mm.
If you do things that the Quran, the Holy Quran, did not advise you to do, if you move away from the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you take upon your own to implement your ideology, your own personal ideology, then your punishment in the sight of Allah is sure. Because what you do, you misled the people. Islam is about love, caring, looking after Muslims, non-Muslims, looking after the poor, the oppressed. That's our duty. That's our human duty. And to be a Muslim, you must be human.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, true.
true, right?
Yeah, true.
You have to be Muslim.
Yeah.
So it's a struggle.
Yeah.
I've been through it. I'm from Trinidad.
Mm.
I've had my share of it. I spent 2 years in prison for standing up for what I believe was right.
Yeah.
And I could tell you in 1990 we had a what they call a coup.
Okay.
And we arrested the parliamentarians in that country for 6 days in the House of Parliament.
Yeah.
We did that. We arrested them. They had deserved to be arrested because all over the world, not thinking of Trinidad or even Jamaica, no other Caribbean country, the world is corrupt. But the world isn't really corrupt. They are corrupt men who are in charge and manage the world.
Okay.
The world isn't corrupt. If you go outside, there's either cold or hot, rain falling or sun shining. So there's no corruption in that.
True.
Okay?
Yeah, true.
But it's the man. In other words, as one was saying, guns don't kill people.
People kill people.
That's right. If you put down a gun in the square and you forget it there, it will kill no one. But as a man hold that gun, he shoots someone, is he the person that has the intention, thought of evil, and he will do things like that. Yeah.
Good point. So you said you're from Trinidad.
Yes, I am from.
Yeah. What was it like growing up in
Uh,
Trinidad? So I know it must be hot.
yeah, it was warm.
Yeah.
The parenting, well, compared to how it is here,
Yeah.
our parents grew us up differently.
Yeah.
And well, I grew up as a Catholic,
Okay.
and after that, I went to become a spiritual Baptist. I was in search of religion, in search of faith, until I found Islam, and I found my leader, Imam Yassin Abu Bakr. And when I found him, I found Islam. And I have never regretted, even though I was in prison, I have never regretted finding him and finding the religion of Islam. I always thank him for turning my life around, because I might have been dead already. I might have been a drinker. As you know, we have a Indian song in Trinidad where they call it chutney soka, and the guy is saying he's a drinker. So, so I might have been a bigger drinker in those days. But 35 years now, I have turned my life around. I don't use alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't take part in ugly things.
Yeah.
I don't gamble anymore.
You're just a clean heart.
No, well, I want to tell you something about clean hearts.
Okay.
My heart is only clean when I meet another clean heart. When I meet a heart that is corrupt, my duty is not to fight that person. My duty is to tell that person where he is corrupt and show him some light to follow. But there are a lot of people who have, might have a little ugly side of them, and who doesn't, including myself. Which part in the world people don't have some little ugliness about themselves?
Yeah.
And most times we hide that. And we produce ourselves as, oh, I'm okay. That's not true. Everybody in this world have some dirty little ways, but some people have big dirty ways, and that is the ones you have to deal with. And the dirty ways in this world is by people being corrupt, like politicians take the country's money, steal it off the top, leaves the country to suffer, like in Trinidad. We had 500 and I believe more than 80 murders last year, which is 2017. And I understand, I don't know if it went up by today, but I understand in the last 2 days, in the last 18 hours, we started off the new year with 5 murders. And that's a country that only has 1.3 million people. Lots of land, resources, oil, gas, ammonia, cement, pitch lake.
Yes, it's a
rich country. But the poverty is high, all because of the corrupt management by politicians. Simple as that.
Yeah, speaking about corruption, late November last year, there was this whole thing with Libya.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, you seem like a wise man.
No, well,
the Libyan situation.
Presently?
Yeah, like
you know what?
Slaves and
Well, I want to tell you something. When Colonel Gaddafi was in charge of Libya, no one heard of Africans being turned into slaves. No, it was not present. Gaddafi never arrested Africans, chained them and sold them. No. He never did that. I have had people who visited, and the Libyan system was a very, very hearty one. And the reason for Gaddafi's death, well, let me tell you why I say it was a hearty one. When a man makes a child in Libya, in Gaddafi time, you take the birth certificate of the child, you take it to a bank, and they give you a sum of money for having a child.
Do they take the child away?
No. That's your child.
Oh, okay.
When you get married, he gives you a house. And I think it was 50,000 Libyan dollars to start your life. What Gaddafi was trying to do was to move away from the American systems, which was implanted in Libya before he took it. It has always been planted. And when he did that, he also tried to unite Africa. So he was going to make a one coin system, gold coins, to work just with the United States of Africa, which will spell the USA. Right? It would have been the real USA, the United States of Africa, or the African Unity, or something like that. And that was a threat to America.
As it would be.
It will be a threat because of the collapse of their money. And his problem was that he stopped taking their paper money for his oil, the country's oil, and wanted it in gold. So he had lots of bullions, lots of gold bars in Libya. Lots of gold bars. And he was going to found this African unity, which would have made African people important economically. Because Africa has all the wealth. Why is there so much starvation?
That's what I don't understand.
Well, that is what we have to understand, that there is a reason for that starvation in Africa. It is because the wealth has been taken away from them, and Gaddafi had put a stop to that. He had started taking his money in gold and was trying to push this African Union that would have taken Africa out of that. Even Mandela had agreed with him, because if you remember, when when he died, they asked Mandela. They really expected Mandela was going to say, "Oh, Gaddafi is whatever." You know what Mandela said? He said, "When I was struggling against apartheid, he was my friend, and he was my brother." Yeah, they didn't want that. They did not want that. And in the Caribbean down by us, we had the Honorable Dr. Fidel Castro, who held on to Cuba and just simply tell America, you can't do us as your thing, you know. Well, today America have a bigger problem. There's a little Korean boy, and he's telling them, don't push me. I think now recently I saw on the news in England here that he say he has his button on
the button.
my hands are on my button on my desk. So don't push me. This is the world. Control is not about Christianity anymore. It's about the greater powers. It comes all from the Templars. It goes straight down into the Illuminati. And these are the people that create the wars. Because what is the product of most of these countries that want war? They make arms. And if there is no war, arms will not sell. It's like if there is no Christmas, Christmas trees will have no sale. As simple as that. So they have to maintain war. And the simple thing about it, they have never created a war in their own country. They always move to another man's country, get his people to rise up against him, and they have their war in that country, but they just sit down here and pull the strings. It's like puppetry. You know, you have puppets, and you move them and dance them when you want. And that is the control of the world that the American people want. Now I'm in England, and I will say that of America. But England hold a more neutral position compared to other countries against bombing and killing children. I must give them that, you know. They don't take that kind of part. You don't hear them rushing to. They always say, let's talk, let's go. And the United Nations is a waste of time. I can tell you that. I'll tell you that. They're a waste of time. Because you have people who are dying now in Rohingya. You have people being murdered because they're Muslims by a crazy woman. And she's in Myanmar. And what's happening? What does the United Nations say? They say, well, you know, we have to wait for a report. Time they're waiting for a report, 10,000 people dies. So what's the sense of that? What's their purpose? What does the United Nations do for the poor masses throughout the earth? What do they do for them?
Clearly nothing.
Huh?
Nothing.
Why do we have it?
That's a good question.
Why are we doing that? But you see, it's like a university. Great countries with money goes to the United Nations and they buy a chair. So they buy a man in there. That's like buying a man. And the other part is that the United Nations, I'm going to say this clearly, they're a waste of time. Because here why? They never take the decisions ought to be taken, which is human decisions. When they do take a decision, they could take a decision, but there are a few countries, including America, and the most powerful as they want to believe. They want to believe they are the most powerful. So here what they do, they have something called veto power. How could we have an organization called the United Nations, and when we take a decision as a United Nation, one man could get up and say, I veto. I veto that. It means you all could do what, it simply means, hey, all you do all you want. I ain't going down with that. That's not an organization. There's no head to the United Nations. There's no authority over the United Nations. Say, but you can't do that. We all take a decision, and if we're in majority, we do that. For instance, the situation between Israel and the Palestinians. You're going to take Jerusalem now and make it the Trump. Well, let me tell you simply how I see it. Trump really wanted to see if he could have dealt with the Asian war. I think he wanted a war with Asia. and felt that China, South Korea, and other countries, Japan, whom the American bombed on 2 occasions and killed half the amount of people. You remember that in the World War?
Yeah.
They bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They mash it up. So when you understand that, you can see today that he wanted to start a war there, but he ran into some real serious problems. Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong or Long or Young or whatever,
Kim Jong-un.
or whatever. He ran into that problem. And when he saw that, he says, well, and I hear now they want to talk, and South Korea is talking to Kim Jong, and Japan and China. But the smartest of all the presidents in the world today, I'm giving him all the credits, is Putin. Very, very smart man. He's running things. Yeah, he's next to them. He's close to Kim Jong. He's close to South Korea. He's close to Japan. And what he's saying, hey, we should talk. He said, let those people talk. Don't come there. Neutral. So neutral. He remained neutral, and that was being smart. That is being smart, staying neutral at this point. So, you know, I observe that because I'm politically inclined, even though I'm a Muslim, and some of the fanatical Muslims in this world will say, he's a politician. But they are politicians too. Because when you go to the shop, whatever you buy, you pay tax. True. So that's part of your life too. Who taxes you? The government taxes you. You work, they take VAT. You buy, they take VAT. You work, they tax you. So you could be of what religion you becomes a politician, but you becomes most of all a person who are being controlled by a group, which must happen. You must have leadership throughout the world. You just, all of us just can't be leaders and we have nobody in charge of a land. You must have that. You must have that. But it must be on a level playing field. It must be on a level playing field. So the United Nations have no power because one man could veto it. They're going to make Jerusalem now the capital of Israel. Why are you doing that? You're pushing war. The Palestinian has lost children, babies, land. They murder them. Today, that struggle will get worse. So you will hear some fanatic is saying, well, they're fighting in, some Muslim fanatic will say, they're fighting in Jerusalem and we must fight them anywhere. And you take a bomb and put it in a bus terminal. You're not fighting no war, mister. When you want to fight a war, you must go with people who have arms like you and face them off. Face your war zones. Don't go and put things where innocent people bully and you just go and blow it up and you kill babies and children. Tell all these Muslims I say they're off. And let me tell you too, in our country the CIA has even planted Muslim groups. There's one from Miami, in Florida, in Miami. They have newly planted him as a reporter for them in Trinidad. I wouldn't call his name because you know that will not be nice. But there is groups of Muslims that are also part of the CIA movement, fighting against their own brothers, and will inform on you. Inform on you. But I too will inform. In this sense, if I know anyone is going to take something that will destroy humanity or destroy children or innocent people in a station, in a bus station, in a school, I might not report you, I might stop you. I might do something to stop you. You know? But this is the world. So Islam is not what people think. They are mad scholars. You know, we are different and we're going to reach God face first. They're fooling themselves. God, yes, you hear them saying, you know, we're going to get to Allah and we're going to go to paradise. Yep, I could go to paradise. If when I walks out here or I go back home, someone takes a shot at me and I am dead for what I am saying here now and they kill me, yes, God will say, he was speaking the truth. He was defending the faith. and they killed him. He was defending humanity. So Islam is much more than just a book. Islam is about defending humanity, not Muslims. Islam is about defending humanity.
I never knew that.
Well, that's what it
You're
is.
the realest Muslim I've ever spoke to.
Well,
other ones will tell me, like we just said, we're gonna meet
God face first, and everything's everything going to be all right because we can speak Arabic and we can quote, we can read the Quran in Arabic, and I do a couple hadiths and I do this and I do that. You ain't gonna get there, brother. You got to get there by charity, by doing the right things for humanity. That will take you. It will take Christians, Hindus. You don't get judged for what you believe. You get judged for what you do. God wouldn't judge you for what you believe. If you believe that Bob Marley is your musical prophet, I too believe that Bob Marley is my musical prophet. But that wouldn't take me to paradise. But if I go back where he left off, where he used to look after people, build schools, look after children, use his money to invoke growth in a society, then I will too will become like him. I might become not a prophet in the sense by God, but a prophet of the people. Because you start to show the people new light. So Islam, I'm not, like extremist. I hate when a man tell me, boy, that is an extremist Muslim. That's a foolish Muslim.
They're doing too much.
Too much.
Yeah. You see, like you said, you're a little bit political. What's your thoughts on Trump?
I predicted he was going to win the election.
What made you?
I will tell you today. Nice question. I like that one. America has created enough atrocities on humanity throughout this world. They have bombed children, women. They have killed a lot of innocent people who were not at war with them, who never left their country to come to America to war with them. Never did. But they went in there with their high flyers, they bombed places, they killed children. Trump is a punishment to America. By God. And we knew that God was working when Trump won. So we, myself and my leader and many members of our community predicted that he's going to win election. And I'm going to tell you here now, I'm glad he did win. Because what's happening? Black people start to open their eyes in America to see who they are. They are marching. They are killing blacks. White police shoot black men constantly. Gets off. A black man kill a white man. Hey, you get 20 years, 15 years in jail. Manslaughter, murder, whatever. They hang you or they put you to the chair, maybe, in some states, right? But when a white man kill a black man, hey, just another nigger dong. That's it. You know? Nothing happens. So black people are starting to rise up. The sad thing is when black people joins the army of the white man to go kill other people in other lands that has done him nothing, then you are a foolish black boy. Muhammad Ali, the great boxer, he made prison for that. You remember that? He went to prison for that. He said, I will not take the draft. I am not going there to kill those people. They have done me nothing. They took away his belt, his championship. They sent him to prison. But when he died, you saw what happened? At his funeral, blacks came out. So if black people in America don't follow and understand what Ali had done to show them light, then the black man continues to fail.
Do you think the black man needs a leader? You know, like Malcolm X and all these other leaders. Do you think a leader is necessary? Or can we lead ourselves?
long before there were kingships, long before we had a queen in England, long before we had presidents in America, we had black kings. Solomon was a king. Yeah. David, he was king. We had black kings. And the sad part is some people really think that Jesus was white. Yeah. I don't know what make them feel. Michael D'Angelo drew him and made him a white boy with soft hair. But in the very Bible said Jesus had skin that was bronze in color and his hair was woolly like yours. I mean, if you watch the one they have in the Catholic Church, you must understand it's a complete play. Yeah. And that is what was forced upon us, their teachings.
That's how I grew up.
They was forced upon us because to get to the Catholic school, you had to christen. I went to the Catholic school. My father came from a Muslim family. Yeah. He was the general manager of Huggins Estate in Trinidad. And for him to be recognized, he had to go to the church and marry my mother. You understand? So it is to show you that you had to christen before you go to the school. And you had to be a Catholic. It come like the Jews today. Yeah. The Jews could come to our mosque anytime. But we can't go to the synagogue. You know that?
I know.
Oh yeah, you can't go.
No.
No, get up a morning and go down, where's the place name? Stamford Hill. And try to walk in a synagogue. They'll tell you, I'm sorry, you cannot come here. Yeah. And they say they are God-chosen children. They're stupid, mad, and crazy. If you God's chosen children, so you are the only part of humanity here.
True.
No. Long before them. And some people really think that the Jews are white people. Fair in complexion. The first set of Jews in the world that God has left, they were black. Now as the attack is on them, they are telling people, well, you know, we have black brothers in it. Aha! Now they're seeing war at the head of them. They're telling, you know, we have black brothers involved. So, in this world, there'll always be struggles. Because life is a struggle. Yeah, of course. I struggled as a sperm. I struggled to meet my mother's womb. And a lot of fellas started off with me, 960,000, they said.
You're lucky.
Not lucky. Survival of the fittest. I was the fastest man who was swimming without hands or feet.
Yeah.
I did it. I had, just like yourself, you see how your mother is laughing? Yeah. She know you are a good swimmer.
She, I'm the only one.
So, Meshach, this is part of life. And in my home, there are a lot of problems. We have murders. We have corrupt politicians. We even have, well, now I heard that even our Chief Justice, the other justices, and them are asking him to resign because they find him to be in some form of queer behavior. Oh, wow. He's a queer. I think that's what they said. Yeah, allegedly. It is alleged that he's a queer. He had some friend from jail, a young man from jail who he gives some privilege. Now they fire a shot to kill the young boy because he spoke out and said what relation he had with our Chief Justice. Oh, wow. And imagine in our country there are 735 people charged for murder in that little country. And they have not had trial. Some men are 7 years in jail without trial. Some men are 10 and 12 years, 15 years in the jail without trial. And that is a society that say you are innocent until proven guilty. Yep. Nope, you are guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. And as long as it take me, you will be guilty. One day you might be innocent. Yeah. And that is going to bring on real serious problems in the prison and the conditions of the prison in that country. They're using pail. You know what is a pail? No. Bucket for men to have to pass their feces. Okay. In one cell, you have 13 men and one bucket. One bucket. So in the night, if you have, when I was in prison, they tell you whatever you have to do it in the day because we try not to use the bucket in the night. Lots of organization went to that place and tell them they should close down some of these prisons. Nobody listens. You see, it's about take one, take all. The politicians are greedy. And I'm not talking about UNC, PNM, or DLP, or not. All politicians in Trinidad, all they want to do is to get the keys to the treasury. And their friends, their family, their contractors, friends who they collect 10% of whatever contract they give them. In some cases, men give away contracts to build highways and things. They get 10% out of it. So if a highway costs $500 million, that man gets $50 million. You understand what's happening? So it's corruption. And what corruption will lead to? Bloodshed.
Of course.
Because the youths are killing themselves. And mainly the African people. Mainly the African people. Chinese leave China and they come to Trinidad, and in 3 years they have big business. Syrians leave Syria in poverty and come to Trinidad. Now they are the strongest 1% of people in our country. But you know what? They control the politicians because they have the money. So when election come, they fund them. $300-400 million for your campaign. So when you finish win your campaign, and I give you my money to win. Oh, glad to see you, and they shake your hands. And then after you shake your hands, the next time they're going to shake your hand, you have to have a wall of money in it to start to give them back.
So money directly linked to corruption.
That's right. And our country suffer from a real bad position of called envy and greed. And that is the two things that kills the world today. When there is greed and there is envy. Even on the streets. Envy and greed. You tomorrow, you're a young man, you go out there, you buy a Benz, you build a nice home. I'm watching him. And your other black brother is trying to take you down.
And that's what I don't understand. Why do we hate on each other more than we hate on the people bringing us down?
Well,
and I ain't trying to say white or blacks, but
I think, you see, it was designed to work that way. It's a design. The system was designed for it to work that way. In Trinidad, we have 700 and something men charged for murder. The majority of them, 90 or 75%, is Africans in the prison. A few Indians may be in there with them or whatever have you. The gang war is between the Africans. Africans want to kill Africans. But for them to really find out why are we doing this to each other, they don't understand the economical structure that is laid upon us. They don't understand it.
So if you live somewhere poor and you keep throwing people in there in that poor environment, of course everyone's trying to get out.
Get out.
So
you know,
they end up killing each other or violence.
There's a little story that I heard. A man went and catch some crab. So he had some black crabs and some white crabs. And he had 2 barrels full of crabs. And when he was going to leave, he covered the black crabs in the barrel. And he asked the man, he said, the man asked him, well, why are you covering the white ones? He said, no, you don't have to worry about them. You know, he asked him, why you ain't covering the black crabs and you're covering the white crabs? He said, because the white crab, if one comes out the barrel, he will stretch his hands to help the other crab come out. He said, but I don't need to cover the black crabs because once they see one coming out, they pull him back down. You catch where I'm coming from?
Crabs in the barrel. What's it?
Crabs in the barrel.
Barrel mentality.
Yes, crab in the barrel mentality. And that is what have our African people throughout the world in some cases. Not being able to come together because Chinese will come. And you and I, the Africans, we go and buy everything from the Chinese. But if a black brother open a shop, who he playing? Who he playing? Hello. All right, attended. So
it is sad.
That's
we don't trust, because we were talking about this the other day. To support someone who's black, you either think that they're gonna do you wrong. Why don't we trust our own? Like,
it's a design. It's a design. It's a design.
But in some cases, we got to take accountability.
In some
That's what I don't
cases,
understand.
and this is the point I'm making. In some cases, we need to recognize who are our real enemies. And your enemy is not the black brother on the street
Of course.
who hustling.
Of course.
He's not your enemy. The real enemy is the one who has all our wealth, has been hoarding it, and only one group of people gets to steal it off. And we vote them. We give them power. We give them the power to go and steal, to open the treasury, to open the banks and take the money out, fix their friends, their family. But God is not sleeping on us. I just told you, Trump and other places, but Trump is a punishment to America because they deserve it. And Trump is going to bring it on them. Soon, he's going to bring it on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, their punishment is about, because if you watch, God has been punishing America all the time. You know, New Orleans flood, fire, storm, tornadoes. Yes, but they don't take cognizance. If the man if Trump is telling you, I ain't business with no global warming, you must understand what you mean. I don't care, boy. Once you see, Trump is a businessman. He's a businessman. And open door for China now. They feel, well, you know, we will come back to America, and they will glad to come to America and build cars, and he will deal with them, and they will. And what Trump does now, even his weapons, he is sending it into China to make there. So where's your job? Where's the black man job? Where's the white man job in America to build things? Trump is not doing that. No more. So, brother, in my country, we have a radio program. Myself and Imam Yassin Abubak, we have a radio program, and we're trying to educate our people. And that's the only way you can go about it, to try to raise the consciousness of our people.
Know. We just need.
The thing with politicians, they go into the parliament, they make laws, they pass amendments, they make reform, they tell you we're going to reform. And they use big words and they put it on the Guardian and say, this is the new law, this is the amendment. What about a man who can't read? He knows nothing about. He break the law because he don't believe. He don't understand what he read. So it is well done by the brain that the masses who cannot read, and believe me, the masses the masses are not well educated. Really? It's a smaller group out of the masses that are educated today. And they enter the university, you might get a doctor or two. But the masses are the poor on the street. The masses are the ones that are hungry. When you tell them about big words and the amendment and this and that, they might, when they hear the word amendment, they might say, Amen. That means God, you know. Amen. Amendment. It means amen. They don't understand. And they don't give you a chance to really talk. If they do that, they look for a few guys who will come and tell them, well, you know, this is that, but they don't come on the streets. And what we talk on this radio program is street talk, so that the man on the street who do not have a level, or he's illiterate, put it this way, even the man who is illiterate could understand our program when we speak about something, and that is important. If the illiterate could understand, well, then the ones with brains should catch it even faster.
Of course.
That's right.
I never thought of it like that, but it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
You got to come down to educate your people. You can't take a 50-year-old man and tell him he can't read. And there are a lot of 50-year-old in my country that cannot sign their own name. They use their thumbprint. So, to get an ID card. So you can't do that. So, you know, in these things, you look at it and you find that even our education system is weak. Right now we have Minister of Health just hiding, ducking. We don't even have medications. Now people not even getting insulin in Trinidad. It's short. People with diabetes. There are a lot of problems. And what's bringing the problems? The politicians. The money is there. Our wealth is there. But every 5 years, one of them win the election. Hear what they say to the nation. Well, you know, when we came here, the last government spent everything. They stole everything, so there's nothing. And suddenly, nothing happened, but everybody is getting paid. The police is getting paid. The politicians are getting paid. And what's happening? Nothing. So it's lies. What we expect is that I would like to see that the youths, not the bandits or the street kids, but I would like to see the youths that has some level of education take our country. I hate old politicians now. They have been stealing too long. It's time to give you all, you are youth, it's time to give you all a chance, not to steal, but to do something else. Every old politician who have been in politics for the last 10, 15 years is a crook in my country. You could I wish they hear what I'm saying today. I wish they read it tomorrow. They're all crooks. So I am looking in Trinidad and Tobago that we raise younger people with love for humanity. And time you take a young fella and he learn to thief, in 5 years you could afford to get rid of him and bring another young set who can't thief. Because once they stay more than 10 years, they learn how to open the treasury and how to pass the money through the window of the treasury.
They learn too much.
That's right. So it's time we make changes, and it's time the youths in our country take it. So we hope that some of the youths are hearing me. I'm waiting for them. I want them to get involved. I want them to take to what they have to do to establish youthful politics that will run Trinidad and Tobago for the next 40 years, because I'm the father of 9 children and 23 grand.
Wow.
So I don't want to leave my grandchildren, great-grandchildren will be paying the bills, will be paying the bills of the politicians that died already.
True.
They will be paying the bills. My great-grandchildren will be paying those bills for politicians that have already died, who scraped the treasury, who went with the money. My great-great-grandchildren will be paying that bill. That's wrong, Mishak. That's wrong. So I looking for youthful politics in our country. But Trinidad is an estate. Even down to my nephew coming to Trinidad, he was advised not to come to Trinidad.
Oh, really?
That is why I had to go quite in Tobago and look for him.
Yeah.
He was advised not to come to Trinidad. They say, no, and he's coming from England.
Yeah.
And they are telling him, don't go to Trinidad. There's too much of crime, and you could be robbed, you could be murdered in that place. I mean, come on.
Sad.
But the only thing I vexed with him for, I'm his uncle. He could have come there. Nobody will touch him.
Of course.
I ain't vexed with him. But I'm just saying it.
Well,
Wow.
Lorris, you're a very wise man, and I've learned a lot from this. I'm definitely going to listen back and try and learn what you taught me a lot.
I appreciate you giving me that opportunity to speak with you. And I wish that your endeavors to do what you are doing is to help educate your black brother.
I'm trying to mix education with entertainment.
That is beautiful. And as a Muslim, you know, I'm involved in PAN. I'm involved in the steel band.
Yeah, okay.
Some Muslims will say, hey, that's haram.
Oh, yeah.
No. I'm a Trinidadian. I'm not an Arabian. I'm not, I'm a Trini to the bone.
Yeah, first.
And that's my culture. We made the pan. We created the calypso. We created the soca. We even created the chutney soca, which is the Indian side of soca. We even had Indians have even integrated into calypso in our country, which was more basically came from the slaves, Africans speaking out, and pan was a form of the Africans finding things to do. In Trinidad, if you beat a pan long time, you could have gotten arrested. If you gathered to play this pan long time, it was like a taboo, including my father. when they were when the pan men and things started to beat pan, he didn't want us to go around those kind of people because that was supposed to bad people. Poor thing, my father, he died, but he was his mental was based upon the colonialism of that time, and he became like that, seeing these people as evil. And he was a manager. He used to work in dentalship. He worked the people in dental labor. He worked all the people from parts of the Caribbean who used to come on their estates and work and all of that. Wow. But one of the things I will let you know is that there will be change. By the will of God, there will be change. In all the countries, including my little Trinidad and Tobago. There will be change. It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. It's just taking time, and God is never hurry. You remember God says something. First, I will warn you. God is a warner. He shows us what he can do with one earthquake, one tsunami, one piece of bad weather, and Dominica is flat. Some people ask me how I feel about Dominica, having their lash from the thing. Yeah. When the Americans were going to join to attack Maurice Bishop in Grenada, the American came to my prime minister, who I respect a lot. Yeah. He died. His name was George Chambers. Okay. The Honorable Michael George Chambers. And you know what he told them? When the American came, he told Ronald Reagan, he said, "You are a cowboy." Oh, wow. And here good. You're not going to fly no planes from here to attack Grenada. They went to Dominica, and Eugenia Charles, she was then in charge, I believe. Yeah. And what she did, she said, "It's all right, you can come here and bomb Grenada." Well, God bombed her. God bombed her land with some serious storm. I'm not really saying I'm not sorry for the people, but you have to check back. When something happens, there is a cause for it. Good?
Yeah, I agree.
If you have a car and the clutch starts to slip, maybe the clutch release bearing is giving trouble. Yeah. When you have things, there's always a cause for your engine to fail. Yeah. And when God fails you, it's like he have just thrown you to the wolves. And that is what he did with those people. Punishments will come. And every country, by God, that has destroyed human life, destroyed innocent human lives, women and children, they have a price to pay, my friend. And not by nobody putting no bomb or nothing, no subway, or going in a restaurant and put down a bomb. And we were in a restaurant today, and if someone had put down that, I would have died too. So I don't think about that. What I think about is the education, understanding the system that they have put in place for us.
As you should.
And what caused our coup in 1990 is a policewoman they killed.
Yeah, what do you think? I don't know. I'm not too privy on all these things.
Well, in 1990, we attacked and arrested a government. It's for the same thing I said earlier on. It's because they had committed an act where they killed a policewoman for finding a minister of national security, one who was in charge of the army, and the attorney general then. She found them in the VIP room of the airport with kilos of cocaine waiting to be sent to somebody, and maybe they were working for the Assyrian friends. I'm not afraid to say that, because I don't think they was in the business to do it on their own. I think they were just making sure that get out for their friends who supports their political party. I don't care about these Syrians. They come at me, I'll go at them.
I love it.
Yeah, you don't fear. You see, when you reach to understanding your Lord and Creator, remember this. You cannot fear God and man at the same time. If you fear God, then you don't need to fear man.
That's true.
And if you fear God and man at the same time, it come like, they say you're cheating on God. He don't like nobody to fear except him. And to fear God, all you have to do is the right thing to humanity. Make sure that your neighbor child has something to eat. Make sure that when you walk down these stairs, you see some child you know didn't get breakfast this morning because the father not working, the parent. Don't study, I see the father by the rum shop the other day. I know your business. Think about the child that did not get anything to eat. And then you will have your rubbish filled with ends of bread. You will have all your half a juice thrown away. And you take food and you dump it when you can't use it, but you will not send it to children. What's wrong with Africa? Africa is a rich country. And then ask yourself, who owned the Kimberley diamonds? Who owned the Kimberley diamond factory? It's your people here. They owned it. Wow. And they're not poor. But the very place, they call it blood diamonds. It's reached down to blood diamonds. So Africans killing each other to get a piece of diamond now. And if they catch them coming out of it from the mines, they might just slaughter you. And they're selling Africans in Libya now. But in Gaddafi time, good man. I'm supporting Nelson Mandela when he said, Gaddafi was my friend and my brother. Well, Gaddafi was also my friend, and he died my brother. So the world has lost. You see what's happening in Libya now? What's happening in Iraq? All those countries that they have said, we're going to make civilization better. You do not take your ways and force it on other people. These people have survived for centuries by themselves. Why are you to bomb them and bomb yourself into their ways and try to change them? If they have oil, simply buy it. Simple. They have oil, you want it? Buy it. But somebody is saying the governments are oppressed. What caused all in Iraq, Iran, all these places, what caused all this thing about people oppressed? Poverty came only because the funds of the nation were being mismanaged and was being ripped off. Wow. So the world have a lot to answer for, including Trinidad.
You sound like you'll be good in politics.
Well, I have been in it for the last 45 years. But I'm too old to hold positions. Yeah. But any young group, I feel that is ready to take the role of politics, I'm going to be one of the old men on their platform telling my people, my age people, let's give them a chance. Because all these old politicians in Trinidad and Tobago is thief. I rather young thieves who is bandits and let them come and put a domino over there. I ain't bound to even know them. Give somebody else a chance now.
Why not?
Give the youth a chance. And you always bothered, well, the nation, the hands of the nation is in the hands of the youths. The school, but where Rick William, the one who they say liberated Trinidad, another crook, made his daughter very rich. Yeah. She got married to some Boeing man or some man who used to make planes, they say, and they make some deal. Yeah. Imagine 5 years after she was saying, I could lend Trinidad money. The Prime Minister daughter, Erica Williams, I don't know if she's dead or alive, she is saying that I have money and I could lend Trinidad money. Where did you get the money from? Boeing? Yep.
Where?
Corruption. You see, why they do it in the Caribbean that much? Because they know we are slave mentality people in the Caribbean. And look at all them CARICOM countries. I want them hear this. You have Caribbean countries, you call it CARICOM. Why don't you have one currency for the whole of CARICOM? For all the Caribbean countries, we have one type of dollar to use. Why? We can't do that. Because America and others will not allow that. Because if we have a base Caribbean currency, we will have better tradings in this land, in our land in the Caribbean. We will have one money. We don't print our own money in Trinidad, you know. We pay. I think it's England that prints our money, or America. Yeah, because we are part of the Commonwealth, and I have no problem with the Commonwealth. what I saying today, and I will say it, and I want my English people to hear what I'm saying, the English blacks or whites. The role that England has played has always been one of neutral. You have never heard that England say they go in and bomb anybody. They go in, but they say, you know, we are allies. Well, you know what ally mean? We all lie. All lie. So we are allies. We all lie together in the same bed, and if you go in and fight, and I and you lying down together, and you going up to fight, I say, oh God, Mishak, you know, you're going and fight, boy, but because me and you lying in the same bed, we go fight with you. And that's how it is. But they are all lies. They're not allies, they are all lies. So sometimes you find people run to...
I love it.
what they call allies, all lies, because really, nobody have ever tackled any of these countries. Nobody never bombed Russia. Nobody never bombed America. Nobody's going to hit England. And I say again that I really have respect for the British law. I have a lot of respect for it because that is what have me out of the prison. They accepted an amnesty to be true. And they have something they want to form in Trinidad. They have it already built. It's called the Caribbean Court of Justice. I pray that never go to work because one phone call from another Caribbean man to another Caribbean man to a judge in that place and you in jail, my boy. Yeah. They'll strip you. They have jungle law in the Caribbean. If you don't have your own money, don't tell me about you have no carry come. You carry go. You don't carry come at all. You just carry go. You have no $1 or a single coin sitting. I can leave here and go to Jamaica and spend this money. It's valued the same as my Jamaican brother. It's valued the same as my Barbadian brother. It's not like that. Our money, we have oil, gas, ammonia, pitch, all these resources we have. And our money is even smaller than the EC. It called it Eastern Caribbean. Who put that in place? Why are we talking CARICOM when we have CARICOM divided? We don't have $1 that I could leave Trinidad and go straight up to Jamaica and say, hey, what happened, man? Hold that. When I give a man a 10, I give him a 10. When he come to my country and he give me a $10, it's a $10. Why we don't have that? You see, all of these are the things that what we call economical slavery. Half of us have removed the chains from our hands and feet, but they have gone with our minds and our economical value. They keep changing it to adjust it that others will be better than us, and that's wrong. God made us all equal, and we should live as brothers and sisters on this face of the earth. I pray that one day that God, one person was telling me the time is nearby for God to create his destruction. I think man will take the first attempt to destroy himself. He will be given that privilege to take the first attempt to destroy himself. So Mishak, this is if you have any other questions you want to ask, please do.
Before we wrap up, I've got one question. I want to know what your thoughts are on Honourable Lewis Farrakhan. Yeah, because I know it's very... I keep hearing two sides of the coin. He's bad, he's good, I don't know.
No, well, I'll tell you this. They have stigmatized, and it has been, I don't know if it's a stigma, facts, or truth. People saying that Louis Farrakhan had caused the death of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
That brought a division. There are a lot of Muslims who will not follow Farrakhan. But I want to tell you this, to be honest. Farrakhan has been doing a good job. I'm not saying he's a saint. You hear me well? But he has been doing a good job in the United States to bring black people to some fair realization of who they are and about their beliefs. I think he's doing a good job.
Would he be considered the leader of the community.
Of the black community?
Of the black community. Million Man March.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
But I know he's working hard at it. He has a strong following.
Yeah.
And a lot of black people in America has been turning to Islam under the Nation of Islam. I think he's doing his job.
Yeah.
I think he's doing his job. What will result to his leadership? Well, his age you have to watch. So there are other people coming up.
Yeah.
There are other people within the organization, younger people that is coming up. In my organization, I'll be 68 on Sunday. And how much do I have in me again? I don't know. But we want to see the younger ones come and take the reign and carry it through. Yeah. So there's about it for Trinidad, but we hope for change. Yeah. We hope for change. Yeah. And when we predicted that Trump was going to win the election, people say we're mad. But we knew that God was with us, and he's working to make sure that that punishment comes on those people. And Trump is not a gift of joy for American people. He's a punishment that will soon become reality. For sure.
And with that being said, it was lovely to have you. You really you're making me think.
Well, I think
but you're making me double think.
Well,
So,
I think
you're making me think of things that I've never thought before.
Well, that's my duty.
Yeah.
Seeing your age, it is my duty at my age to make you think now, so that you will not be in the state that I was when I was a child and being your age. Thank you, Mishak, for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah,
all right.
And
Okay.
before you leave, your radio station.
Yeah.
Make sure you plug your radio station. Where can people hear you?
Well, it's on the internet. It's on YouTube also. You can find it.
Yeah.
And we will talk, and if there's any more that we can do, I can even get you an interview with the Imam from Trinidad.
Definitely.
My leader.
Yeah.
I will get you to have an interview with him from Trinidad, if it's possible.
Definitely.
We will try to put it together. But we are on the radio
Yeah.
every Wednesday from 1 to 2:30 at 90.1 WAC Radio, and it's on internet TV. I also think that YouTube picks it up. So when you go do your search, you could contact the family, and you will let me know, and I will know how to have the Imam make a call to you, and you could do your thing with him, that you spoke to Abu Bakr. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Hopefully, it was great speaking. Shake my hand again. Yeah, it was great speaking to you. I hope you, when you going back?
I'm leaving on the 11th.
On the 11th?
Yeah.
Well, if I don't see you before then, happy birthday for Sunday.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I hope you really live it up, enjoy.
Well, my enjoyment in as reaching that age will like to see in my country that racialism is removed, and that my country comes together as a people, not as a religion, not as a race, but just simply come together as people and Trinidadians and Tobagonians. I would like to see that for my children. But I know my great-grandchildren will have some bills to pay that these people have put us in. And right now, Trinidad is also preparing probably to borrow money again from the IMF, International Monetary Fund. It's all about money, brother.
Yes, sir.
It's all about money. But we have it, but some people just take all of it and leave us with nothing. So the killings wouldn't stop because there's nothing for the man to eat on the street. There's no job for him. There's no... And imagine in a country that you have youths killing themselves, you cannot put national service to them, which you should have. If you have a country and you have youths, you should have national service, that even not everybody is going to be academically educated in some way that they will be doctors and lawyers. You must have cleaners. Yeah. If everybody in England was doctors and lawyers, you all would have died already because nobody would have picked up the rubbish on the street.
Not everyone can be a boss.
That's right. So, but we must not see them as less than us. When you're educated and you're a doctor and you see a man throwing off rubbish on a truck, don't feel because you're a doctor you're better than him. Doc, he could get you sick. If he leave your rubbish in your yard and doesn't pick it up, you're going to be sick. And when the rubbish people in England strike for, let us say, 1 week, what happens to your place? It smells, huh?
Yep, smells.
Oh, real bad too.
Yeah.
So I want to know when the rubbish people in my country strike and people say, we don't want no rubbish truck, we're going to have a whole dump. Imagine in Port of Spain, in this rich country, we have people who living on the dumps. Women throwing away their babies in the dumps. Mishak, that is serious thing, boy. That is when you reach. That is when a society is losing its moral value. And morality in our country has fallen. I just tell you what's happening with the Chief Justice. I'll say no more because I could be arrested on Wednesday when I go back.
Yeah, listen, I love it. I love this. So far, this is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love it. Yep. Get back safe.
And
safe journey.
Safe journey, and I hope to see you again.
Well, you'll definitely.
Well, I might be definitely here for the wedding. I'm not going to tell you.
Definitely.
I should be here for the wedding.
Yep. ShackZone Podcast, episode 3. Happy New Year.
Well, you know you will edit up and fix.
No, it's true.
I don't want to talk you a bit, but crying out loud. God, my mind went.
Oh man.